JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Dimes Unbreakable, episode 37, part 1 of Crazy D is Unbreakable. I'm not calling it Shiny D because that's the name Crunchyroll gave it. This episode is the beginning of the final battle between Josuke Higashikata and Crazy Diamond versus Yoshikage Kira and Killer Queen. But how this came to be was all thanks to Hayato. Time was almost up. It seemed like Hayato had failed in stopping Kira from using Bites of Dust to kill everyone again. And Kira did say that once everyone has died, he'll stop Bites of Dust. And this is where Kira messed up because he thinks that he won, even though he hasn't really won yet, but thinking that he won, he just laughs maniacally, saying that Bites of Dust is invincible, and he even says his real name out loud, which is not a good idea, because it turns out that Hayato had a plan all along. Back at home, while I guess Kira was talking to Shinobu, he made a phone call to someone who overslept, and he was just biding his time waiting for that person to hurry up to his location, and that person just happens to be Josuke, who just shows up right at the nick of time, hearing Kira saying his real name out loud, which by the way was a huge gamble that Hayato took, and it succeeded greatly. And Okuyasu also shows up as well, but Kira, you really fucked up here. I mean, this is what happens when you get cocky, acting like you've won, even though you haven't won yet. Like, save the gloating and the bragging until you've actually won. Otherwise, you're gonna get so cocky that you make a mistake thinking that it's not a big deal, but it turns out it really is. God damn it, Kira. But the thing is with Bites of Dust, whenever Kira uses it, he's vulnerable. He doesn't have his stand with him because Killer Queen, the tiny Killer Queen that we saw being used as Bites of Dust, is the actual stand itself inside Hayato. So without a stand, he would be vulnerable against Josuke's Crazy Diamond. So having no choice but to fight back against Josuke, Kira deactivates Bites of Dust and calls back Killer Queen. And thanks to that, Rohan, Jotaro, Koichi, Josuke, Okuyasu, they're alive, they're okay, now that time has resumed. The final battle officially commences. Killer Queen and Crazy Diamond, go fisticuffs at each other. But Crazy Diamond so far is much faster than Killer Queen, as it was able to land a kick in the jaw, which is really awesome, especially since he goes, Dora, which, that was a really cool moment in the fight. So it seemed that Josuke was gaining the upper hand, but Kira was planning something. Looked like that he was gonna touch Josuke, but luckily Okuyasu steps up and uses his stand, the hand, to scrape away the space to get Kira and Killer Queen away from Josuke. But then suddenly there was an explosion and it hit Okuyasu, leaving a hole in his side, hurting him pretty badly. But how did this happen in the first place? Well, it turns out that Killer Queen is compatible with stray cats. It was keeping the cat plant in its stomach because it has a compartment in its stomach, like it's freaking Bender from Futurama or something, and it was using its stand's ability to make the air bubbles into bombs. So thanks to Stray Cat, Kira can now make air bubble bombs. This is Jojo. I expect some bullshit sometimes. I mean, just like with the watch from the previous episode, but like, really? Killer Queen has a compartment in its stomach this whole time? And it's compatible with Stray Cat? Okay, I guess. I mean, on the plus side, at least we're gonna get like two enemy stands fighting together as a team. I mean, we haven't had that since Whole Horse and Jay Guile stands, Emperor and the Hangman. And this also means that Stray Cat is now an ally to Kira, I guess, since, he took care of it. So that's why it's an ally and it's gonna help out with Kira. Although, why did it attack Kira in the first place? Well, I guess because it finally got some sunlight and first instinct is to shoot out an air bubble. I don't freaking know. But yeah, Kira is now using Stray Cats, and he is also using Killer Queen to make air bubble bombs. Okay, sure. So he launches another one at Josuke, but Josuke was able to use Crazy Diamond's ability to create a rock wall to block the bombs, which was pretty helpful for Josuke. But when he tried to do the same thing again, while the air bubble was able to slip through a crack of the wall, and was able to get close to Josuke, and Josuke got hit by the air bubble bomb. And the thing is with the bombs, Josuke can't see them because, you know, they're made of air, they're hard to see, but Hayato can tell where the air bubble is depending on the distorted area. So he was able to tell Josuke where the air bubble bomb is. So what Josuke decides to do is run towards Kira so that if Kira launches another air bubble at him, he wouldn't be able to detonate it because he would get caught in an explosion as well. And luckily he was right next to Okuyasu, so he was going to heal him, but it turns out that Kira had another trick up his sleeve. Kira used his stand's ability to turn Okuyasu into a bomb. So if Josuke were to touch Okuyasu, he would get blown up, he would die. And honestly, this was the most tense and probably one of the best moments of this episode because Kira was trying to mess with Josuke. He was trying to play some mind tricks at him, making him think that he might or might not have touched Okuyasu, turning him into a bomb. But he clearly did, and he wanted Josuke to call on his bluff. But if Josuke didn't touch Okuyasu and heal him, then Okuyasu would die. And this was pretty much a lose-lose situation here because he couldn't let his friend die, but he also can't get himself killed as well. So he was pretty much screwed. But luckily Hayato was there to help him out because since he was able to live with Kira for a couple days or weeks, I don't know how long it's been, but he knows Kira enough to tell what he's able to do thanks to his expressions that he witnessed. What Hayato does is very risky, reckless, and pretty ballsy. He touches Okuyasu and gets blown up, but before he gets completely destroyed, Josuke was able to fix him with crazy diamonds so that he was able to live. Which I guess would make some sense there, but yeah, Hayato was a pretty ballsy kid. Plus, Josuke healed Okuyasu, so things should be okay. Well, he hasn't woken up yet from his injuries. You know, he's just unconscious, and Josuke was shaking him, telling Okuyasu to wake up, but he might be dead. Either that injury he suffered killed him instantly, or Josuke was too late to save Okuyasu. Well, to be fair, it hasn't been confirmed yet whether Okuyasu is dead or not, but we did see the mist coming out from his body. That's usually a sign when a character is dead. But we've had some death scares in the past. Remember Joseph from part 3? We thought he died, but he didn't. He came back, so maybe there's a chance that Okuyasu's not dead, and he's just unconscious, or he's in a death-like state, or he really is dead. I don't know, but fuck, I really hope Okuyasu's not dead. I really hope not. Anyway, with the next bomb, Kira turns it invisible so that Josuke and Hayato wouldn't see it. And it was getting really close to Josuke, and Josuke was not moving. He wasn't moving to get out of the way because, you know, because of his injuries, and also because he had to carry Okuyasu, and he was trying to get him to wake up, but Hayato keeps telling him that he's dead. But Josuke was in denial over this. It was just like what happened with Ryohei, Josuke's grandpa, when Josuke healed him and he was like begging him to like wake up. It was just like that. And Josuke there was tearing up, so you really gotta feel for the guy, you know? So what he does against this bomb was actually pretty clever. Like, he decides to destroy it by using his own blood, and then with like a quick slice with Crazy Diamond's arm, the blood was like so sharp, so fast that it was able to slice the bubble. But because of Killer Queen's detonation ability, it's still a bomb, which means that it still maintained its shape. Even though it was cut in half, it's still there. It's still a bomb. It can't get destroyed. It will still detonate. So what Josuke does is uses Crazy Diamond's fixing ability to fix the pavement that was just behind him, because some of the shrapnel was embedded in his shoulder from that injury, and the force of the shrapnel going to the broken pavement was strong enough to carry himself and Okuyasu and even Hayato away from the bomb. Okay, sure, why not? So what they do now is they retreat to this nearby house, and Josuke is still lugging Okuyasu, even though Hayato keeps telling him to leave him because he's dead. But, you know, Josuke isn't like that. He isn't going to abandon his friend, even though he's in denial that Okuyasu's dead. Then again, we don't even know if Okuyasu's dead. I hope he's not dead, because I swear he's dead. Anyway, that's pretty much the end of the episode. Overall, this was a really good episode. The fight so far went off to a pretty good start. I did like Killer Queen and Crazy Diamond exchanging blows. And of course, you know, like that Dora scene from Josuke. I thought that was pretty badass. I really hope that Kira suffers a lot because as much as I love him as a villain, I just want him to go through some intense pain after everything that he did, you know? Although I don't know what kind of demise he'll get for the finale. Maybe he'll get the Angelo treatment from Josuke, or maybe something much worse, I don't know. But I am looking forward to seeing more of the final battle. However, I did have some issues when it came to this episode, and I guess one of them had to be probably a stray cat. I mean, I did like how he was being used, but I was still skeptical over the whole thing because, well, the whole thing about Killer Queen having a compartment in his stomach, it just kind of came out of like left field for me. It just so happened to have that, and it's only used now, so okay. But as I said before, it is neat to have two different enemy stands teaming up to fight against the main character. And we haven't had a stand team up since Whole Horse and Jay Guile, so that is a plus in my book. I do have to say this, one of my favorite moments in this episode had to be when Kira was playing mind tricks on Josuke, trying to make him believe that he turned Okuyasu into a bomb or not. Trying to get him to touch Okuyasu so that he can blow him up. And that's one of the things I like about these final battles in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is that not only the physical brute strength, of course, you know, like them exchanging blows, but also the fact that they come up with clever ideas, clever ways to catch their opponents off guard and, you know, try to trick them mentally, you know? And that also goes for the enemies as well. As with Kira, I thought that was pretty intense and very good. And of course, I like the clever ways that Josuke was using his stand, creating rock walls to block the air bubble bombs, using his own blood to cut the air bubbles, and even using his fixing ability as a way to dodge Killer Queen's bombs. So yeah, if this keeps up, then this final battle is gonna be a really good one. And of course, Okuyasu's death. I really hope he's not dead. I don't want him to die because I feel like this isn't the kind of death that Okuyasu deserves. I really like him, even though he's stupid, but he's a really lovable guy that, you know, you can't help but really like him, you know? He's such a goofball, but, you know, he's just an adorable goofball, and you want him to be happy. I wanted him to be happy after everything he went through, but no, let's kill him off, because he's the best friend of the main JoJo, and if he is dead, then that means that would be the third time where the best friend of the main JoJo dies. I mean, part 2 was Caesar, part 3 was Kakyoin, and now part 4 is Okuyasu. But what upset me the most is that if Okuyasu were to die like this, then he would have died without contributing anything to the main plot, because what has Okuyasu done in the main plot? He hasn't done a lot. I mean, in this final battle, all he did was use his hand to get Kira away from Josuke. And if that was it for him, then that would just really suck. I mean, compared to the contributions that the best friends the main JoJo has done in the past 3 parts, and then compare that to Okuyasu, like, he didn't get to do much. Especially within the other battles after Kira, you know? I mean, yeah, there was with Shigechi, that was good. And there was that one other time he helped assist Josuke against the Superfly stand user, but then he got hurt and that was it from him. Rohan contributed more to the main plot than Okuyasu. Koichi contributed more to him, and then again, Koichi is the Polnareff in part 4, you know, but I thought he did good in the Red Hot Chili Peppers arc. I mean, he had some moments of his own, but I guess that would be pretty much it for Okuyasu. I mean, I was hoping that Okuyasu would get some character development or, you know, get some progression with his own stand in the main plot, but no, because most of that went either to Josuke, Koichi, and even Rohan. And Rohan was introduced much later than Okuyasu in this series. So if Okuyasu were to die and that was his only contribution to the main plot, just, you know, saving his friend unintentionally from that bomb, then then it's just freaking bullshit, because Okuyasu deserves better, at least a better death than this if he was going to die. So yeah, keeping my fingers crossed that Okuyasu is not dead, because he does not deserve to die like this. But if he is dead, then I'm just gonna be really upset. But there was this other thing that really pissed me off much more in this episode. Now, Jotaro, Koichi, and Rohan, they were around the corner while Josuke was fighting against Kira. And you'd think that, you know, maybe one of them would go around the corner and tell them to come over here to help out Josuke and Okuyasu. Or, you know, they might have heard the commotion going on with all those bombs exploding. Or Josuke yelling and, you know, see what's going on. But no, because this is what happens to them. Jotaro heard something. He heard a scream coming from Josuke at around the corner. That was right after Okuyasu got hit by the bomb. And what does Jotaro do? He just says, "Oh, I thought the rain sounded like Josuke." That was just like, really? Really? Like, come on! Like, I get it. I get what Araki was doing. He wanted Josuke to have his final battle with Kira, since, you know, he's the new main Jojo. He's the main character and Kira is the main villain. And if they did arrive early, then the fight would have been over too quickly. I get that. But couldn't he have done this without making Jotaro look like a dumbass? I thought the rain sounded like Josuke. Like, what the hell? I mean, why not have them not show up just yet, because they're busy dealing with another enemy stand user who's an ally to Kira, who's, you know, trying to deal with those three, you know? Like Yoshihiro, which, by the way, we haven't seen Yoshihiro yet, so where the hell is he? But then again, Jotaro knows about Adam Heartfather, and he knows how to deal with that. You know, maybe this is why I wish we could have had another enemy stand user that Yoshihiro turned because of the arrow, or maybe saved another one of the stand users that they fought in the past, like Teranosuke. Maybe, you know, have Yoshihiro convince one of the enemy stand users to go after Jotaro, Rohan, and Koichi, since they were all together, so that they wouldn't show up to interfere with the final battle with Josuke and Kira, or something like that. Maybe have Teranosuke there. I don't know, like, just something, at least to make sure that they're not freaking idiots. God damn it. This triggered me more than the pocket watch and the freaking photos they're holding her hands and yet not recognizing Hayato. Like, what the hell? But, you know what, besides the issues that I had with this episode, I thought this was a really good one overall. In terms of voice acting and music, it's spot on as always. Yuki Ono, like, he was really good as Josuke in this episode, especially when he was, like, screaming after seeing his best friend getting blown up. I mean, you can tell that there was a lot of emotion put into that, you know? Like, it was really good. Especially when he was acting angry. That was, again, kudos, really good. As for Hayato, Hayato is the true MVP of this final arc. I mean, seriously, this kid is so brave, and he's very smart, very observant, especially since he's 11 years old. It's really surprising. And, you know, despite him not being a stand user, he can tell, like, what kind of abilities that Kira and Josuke have. He's pretty observant and smart to know, like, what's going to happen, so he's able to help out Josuke in his own way. So yeah, kudos again to Hayato. And what's going to happen in the next episode? Well, I'm not sure. Since, you know, Josuke, Hayato are going to retreat in another person's house, I guess they're just going to, like, camp out and see who's going to make the next move. Maybe Kira is going to try to lure out Josuke and Hayato out of the house so that he can attack them with the air bubble bombs. I'm not sure. Or maybe Josuke will, like, deal with Kira, buy some time for Hayato to get away, and maybe get Jotaro, Rohan, and Koichi to help out. Since, you know, they're pretty close by. I'm just saying, you know, but... yeah, that's just me. The stuff that I mentioned before that made me feel skeptical, I hope that's pretty much it, because, like, Are we gonna get some more bullshit in this final battle? Because let's be honest here, when it comes to Jojo, there is some bullshit that happens, especially in final battles. But if there is gonna be bullshit, I hope it's good bullshit. Not bad bullshit, because I don't want some bad bullshit in this final battle. So tell me guys, what'd you think of this episode of Diamonds Unbreakable? Did you like it? Did you hate it? How did you feel about Stray Cat teaming up with Kira? And what'd you think of the final battle so far? Was it a good start? Was it a bad start? And do you think that Okuyasu is dead? Because I really don't want him to be dead. And then again, this is the climax of the series, so I'm kind of expecting characters to die, but I don't know, I just don't want Okuyasu to die. And again, I don't want any of these characters to die, but then again, this is Jojo, so, you know, you kind of expect death, especially when it comes to the final battles, you know. So anyway, tell me your thoughts on the episode in the comment section down below. Like the video if you like it, subscribe to more videos, and be sure to check out my Facebook fan page and Google+. So yeah, that was JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Diamonds Unbreakable, episode 37. I'm going to spell 27, and I'll see you guys next time on part 2, Crazy D is Unbreakable. Later.